Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So today I'm bringing you guys another update on my Salamangreat deck. I know it hasn't been that long since I last updated it, but I wanted to keep experimenting with this deck, and I think I found a new theory that works very effectively. My main deck is still 42 cards like last time, only this time I decided to go with still keep to the more control-based approach, but at the same time, kind of go for the OTK by like my second or third turn, depending on like how things are set up and what's the best course of action. Now, of course, I changed my extender choices as well, put in a new tech just to make this deck a little bit more consistent, and yeah. So let me go and show you what I got this time around. Okay, so for the Salamangreats, of course, you're going to be playing 3 Gazelles, basically your 1-card combo. This dumps any of your Salamangreat cards to the grave, and it summons itself for free whenever a Salamangreat card or monster hits the grave. Then we have its best friend, Spinny, which you can discard from your hand to give one of your Salamangreats a power boost, and also it can bring itself back, but you have to banish it. But of course, if you're running the Xyz, it bypasses that rule. So both Gazelle and Spinny go very well in tandem with one another. I'm only playing 2 copies of Foxy, mainly because against like Danger Thunder, which is primarily the best deck right now, you don't really want to play too many search cards. You still want to be able to, because Colossus really suppresses this deck pretty hard if you're running too many searches. But at least on the plus side, this deck is also good at grinding its deck out just so you can like get all the resources you need in the grave, reoccur them, and then just go from there. And of course for the 1-0s, I got 1 Jack Jaguar and 1 Falco. I think these are mandatory at 1 of each. Jack Jaguar brings itself back if you shuffle back any fire monster to the deck or extra deck. And Falco just resets any of your spells and traps that are Salamangreat related from when it hits the grave. And it can summon itself for free as well. So moving on, I'm playing only 2 copies of Lady Debug now, just because I did mention this last time on the video that I was thinking about bumping Debug as well as Foxy down to 2. But I found that, yeah, 2 Debug is fine, just because it's not Salamangreat. It's Cybers, which you can make for Balinks, but that's actually kind of the flaw, because you can't like trigger off Gazelle or anything. So I think Debug at 2 is perfectly fine. And of course, to fill in the blanks, I decided to run 2 copies of Flame Buffalo, which is also a good opener card too. It's Cybers, it's a fire, and it's level 3. So you link it off for Balinks, and then you discard 1 Cybers monster to draw 2 cards once it hits the grave, and Balinks will chain block that, of course, so you don't really have to worry about that card. And for my 2 extender pieces, I'm playing 1 Psychic Tracker and 1 Psychic Wielder. Eventually I'm going to replace this tracker for another Wielder, just because I only have the 1 Wielder on me right now. But great cards. I like Wielder because it has more flexibility. It's a tuner monster, so if you synchro summon, you can pop 1 monster on your opponent's side of the field whose attack points are less than the monster you summoned. So Wielder really works very well. So, but yeah. So that's for the primary monsters. Let's move to the hand traps. I'm only playing 9 hand traps. 3 Ash, 3 Ghost Ogre, and of course 3 Veiler. I think these were the best choices, only because I don't have Impermanence, and Impermanence does have its flaws, where Veiler is just like, it has better flexibility against certain things, because like Veiler, yeah, it's prone to Called by the Gray, but with Impermanence, if you have cards on the field, you can't activate it from hand. You'd have to set it, and right now people are finding a lot of ways to stop back row, like with Danko Seka and Twin Twisters. So I think Impermanence is more vulnerable, so just go with the cheaper option of Veiler. Of course, I'm not running Thanos Dragon because I can't afford it right now. Alright, so moving on to spells. Got 3 Salamangreat Circle, 1 Sanctuary, 1 Will, Fusion of Fire, and Super Poly. All pretty cool staples. I like that Circle is a Rhoda. Salamangreat Sanctuary is what enables the Reincarnation Leak. Will is your Pseudo Soul Charge, and Fusion of Fire and Super Poly, basically the same card, just one is a spell speed 4 where the other is not. For staples, of course, you got to run Called by the Grave if you want to protect yourself from hand traps. 2 Twin Twisters. You never know when you're going to encounter a back row heavy deck like Subterra Guru Control or Ultrageist, so it's just better to be prepared. I'm playing 1 Emergency Teleport, which is the newest addition to my deck, because I am running level 3 Psychic monsters like Ghost Ogre and the Psychic Tracker and Wielder, so you can special summon them, and then you can really extend your plays from there even better. So Emergency Teleport really comes in handy. You just got to make sure to get that monster off the field before the end phase, that way you don't lose it for good. And then lastly, 1 Foolish Burial. And for the traps, I'm playing 3. Playing 1 Roar, 1 Rage, mainly because these 2 are they're recyclable, and Roar has its own self-recursion effect, which you don't really want to do. But with Sunlight Wolf, you can easily bring any one of these two back. And then lastly, one Solemn Judgment, which stops any summon and any spell or trap. So just acted as just kind of a last line of defense. Yeah, I was running Warning, but Judgment to me was just better because you can activate it at any given time if you really need to. So yeah, and I think Warning was just kind of overkill at that point. If you want to run strikes, it's entirely up to you. You can keep increasing the number of cards you want to run in the main deck, but I think 42 for me works better. Alright, so for the extra deck, playing 2 copies of Heat Leo. This just to enable the OTK. Shuffles back row, and it weakens your opponent's monsters, which goes really well with Violet Chimera. Only 2 Balinks this time, only because I only ever used 2. Reason I never used the third is because, like, in general, you only want to keep 1 Balinks in your graveyard at a time, and you never know if your opponent is going to hit it with Call by the Grave to prevent the built-in protection and your opponent gives you, or the Balinks gives you, and your opponent can easily strip that away with the Called by the Grave. So, I think 2 is just fine. But the one that's the most important out of all of them is Sunlight Wolf. You definitely want to make full use of this guy. He recycles all your fire monsters, all your Salamangreat spells and traps, and he recycles Ash Blossom. That's really great. Against the Mirror Match, this card's really good. Heat to the Fire Charmer. She special summons a fire monster from your opponent's graveyard, so you can steal your opponent's Sunlight Wolf, Gazelle, whatever you want. And those cards become yours primarily. And she also has a Witch of the Black Forest effect, so yeah, she's pretty broken for this deck. One Nightmare Phoenix. You know, back row's pretty important right now, and it's fire monster, so yeah. And if you co-link it with your Sunlight Wolf, then your Sunlight Wolf can't be destroyed in battle. I decided to add in Update Jammer just to do that cute combo with Borreload Dragon. Just use Update Jammer's Link Material for Borreload Dragon, and Borreload can attack twice and steal 2 of your opponent's monsters, so it gets around like 2 Colossus, and yeah, it's pretty nasty. 2 Xyz, 2 Mirage Dahlia. I might bump it down to 1, because, you know, Mirage Dahlia, you can easily recycle it with Jack Jaguar as well and put back a Bitch Dweller. But let me know in the comments what you guys think. 1 Cyber's Quantum Dragon, Neospatian Ground Mole, only it doesn't bounce itself back. It also protects your Link monsters from being targeted for attacks, so Cyber's Quantum Dragon is really busted, and if you use Psychic Wielder, then, you know, you get a free pop as well, so yeah. And of course, one of the fusion, which is my primary win condition, so yeah, it's really nasty. It doubles its attack points if it battles a monster whose attack points are different, so yeah, very, very powerful instead. Very powerful indeed, I mean. Alright, so for the side deck, which I changed pretty drastically actually, but overall it should have some of the same cards. It's going to be triple Winged Dragon Raw Sphere Mode. This is primarily for any deck that incorporates guard dragons like Crusadia, Danger Thunder Dragon. They're going to fill up their boards with so many negates, so you definitely want to tribute all those monsters away and just kind of like, in a way, laugh at your opponent for wasting so many resources. But it's a great card going second. Another great card to go second with as well is Dino Wrestler Pankratov. Yes, I decided to finally add him in. Just mainly because he helps me deal with Floodgate decks more, or even Sky Strikers, because like it's kind of pointless to attack him or strike him with a Widow Anchor, because like you could just tribute him off as a quick effect, so your opponent basically negged 1. And also like cards like There Can Only Be One, which really shuts down my deck. This is the best card to use, so yeah. And then originally I was going to go with Red Reboot, but I decided to go with Artifact Lancia instead, because Artifact Lancia actually has some better mobility right now, because not only does it stop like any form of deck that like takes advantage of banishment, again, Danger Thunder, but or cards like Evenly Matched, because Cyber Dragons actually main that. They actually, since it's a deck that primarily goes second, you don't want them to hit you with that Evenly Matched, so Artifact Lancia pretty much just stops all that, so yeah. And it's not a hard once per turn, I don't believe, so no, so like yeah, if they try to hit it with a Call by the Grave and you happen to have another one in hand, just tribute it off and there you go. To deal with any search-based deck like Sky Striker, Mirror Match, or pretty much everything now, Shared Ride is definitely a good card to run. And then lastly, Gozen Match. I was going to go with Rivalry, but I think Gozen just slightly better, because like Ultra Guys can't play around it. True Dracos do play it themselves, so but you know, it kind of does slow them down just slightly, but not too much. Rivalry doesn't really stop Danger Thunder, as most people believe, too, because like they can play around it. Same with Gozen Match, but I think Gozen Match can slow them down just slightly. But I would just use it when they summon a light monster or something, because most of their advantage comes from their dark monsters. But yeah, overall I think Gozen Match is definitely a great option. Well, anyway, that's all I got for you guys today. Let me know what y'all think, and I'll catch you guys again on the next video.